Hello, my friends. Hi, everybody. It's already Friday. You know my theory on weeks, so I will simply go on to a subject. I want to take a position that not all of you will agree with, and I respect those who differ. In this regard, there are differences that I have with some people that I don't respect the difference. I think America is systemically racist. I have contempt for you. So, just to be on the record, I don't have respect for everybody I differ with. In this one, I do. But I differ strongly. There is a very strong notion among some, especially among conservatives, that America not get involved in the Ukraine issue. What do we care about Ukraine? It's just 40 million people. As if, by the way, that's determinative of whether or not we get involved. The number of people in a country, there are fewer in Taiwan. So do we say bye-bye Taiwan, let China swallow you? We said bye-bye Hong Kong. That began at the end of the last century with Margaret Thatcher, I'm sad to say, who felt that she had to honor a 100-year deal with the Chinese government to give Hong Kong back to China. Of course, the answer to that is this wasn't the government that the deal had been made with. The Chinese government in 1890 was not the Chinese government of thugs and mass murderers that it was in 1990. So let me offer you a simple proposition. When you let aggressors aggress, they don't stop. The notion of appeasing people, it's not our interest. That was what was said by many with regard to Hitler. It's not, and I'm not saying that Putin is Hitler. I'm just giving that as an example. Oh, it's not our interest. So what is our interest other than an attack on the United States of America, on any of the 50 states or territories? Nothing is our interest? The world could go to hell, but hey, we're protecting Manhattan. It doesn't make sense. It's very hard to live in isolation like that. There's another argument they give. Well, look about our interventions, what failures they were. So what exactly are we talking about? Vietnam? Vietnam was a failure when we left, not when we fought. I just finished a gigantic work on the Vietnam War. It didn't convince me that we lost. We lost when we left. You lose when you surrender. That's when you lose. Afghanistan? People had a chance in Afghanistan to lead. Some people, a lot of people, not all by any means, had a chance to lead a normal life. Like half the population that's female. I believe in a binary view of sex, so I divide Afghans between men and women. It's not woke, it's just true. We didn't lose in Afghanistan till we left Afghanistan. Next week I'll read to you some of the things that have been happening in Afghanistan since we left. Not to mention that it could easily serve as a base for eventual attacks on Americans. We were paying a very small price to stay in Afghanistan. Almost no troops killed. But we allowed for some degree of stability in that country. Iraq is a mixed bag. I don't know. Nobody knows. If Saddam Hussein were allowed to stay in power, what would have happened? Libya, I will acknowledge that as truly evil as Gaddafi was, the chaos that ensued after his fall may not have justified the intervention there. To be pro-intervention is not to be pro-every intervention. Sometimes you just don't know. Life is messy. Hey, Ukraine, it's okay if you lose more of your territory to Russia. What do we care? We're sitting pretty in New York and Chicago and Iowa. I don't follow that. I don't follow it morally, aside from just sheer political concerns. Wall Street Journal, how the West is losing Ukraine. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken is visiting Europe this week with a frantic effort to deter a Russian invasion of Ukraine, and we hope he succeeds. But the administration is also signaling that an invasion is likely, and if so, it's worth explaining why deterrence will have failed. The fault lies mainly with Vladimir Putin and his desire to restore Greater Russia. Yes, that's pretty important to understand. Putin would like to restore the Soviet Union, or Greater Russia, depends on what term you use. That doesn't stop with Ukraine. Why not invade Armenia? That was part of the Soviet Union. Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania. I mean, they have a couple of million, 3 million people in each country, or something to that effect. Not 40. But this ambition has been known at least on what would be minor